back inside. It's not mine. It's not. Go back inside and call an ambulance right now. Go!
I like your dolls.
Annabelle is a prequel to The Conjuring, and it tells the story about how that creepy doll, Annabelle, becomes possessed by a demonic spirit. And it follows Mia and John, her husband, who's a physician, and Mia is pregnant. They're expecting their first child, this young married couple, and basically once Annabelle becomes possessed by a demonic spirit, she wants that baby's soul. And obviously they don't want that to happen. And so it will basically lead up to the events in the Conjuring.
So this is a prequel to The Conjuring. How do you think this one ties into that? People love that film. That was a huge hit with horror fans. They kind of liked it harkening back to kind of an older school approach to horror. Yeah. Do you think this one did the same?
For a good chunk of the movie, they did kind of follow the same approach that James Wan did with that sort of, as you said, old school approach, kind of a low-tech thing, just little creepy stuff like creaking door, what's in the dark, gust of wind, weird noises, and that worked.
More about what's unseen.
Yeah, exactly, and oftentimes what's lurking in the dark is scarier when you don't know what it is until they actually show it. And
all the time.
Yes, and at a certain point in the movie, they go into CGI territory and you start to see creatures and it just kind of pulls you out of it. And it just, for me, it suddenly became a different movie and a less effective movie. And then there's another thing, the fact that the movie is set in 1971 and we see a backdrop of the Manson family murder trials on TV. And there's one section where this religious cult is breaking into homes and attacking people. That's scary. You saw the film as well, and it's, again, these kind of real world things are even scarier than when you just see a guy in a demon suit, you know?
I agree with you. That was by far the scariest part of the movie. Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about the performances a little bit. Annabelle Wallis.
Yeah.
Not the doll.
No relation.
Not the doll. Plays Mia.
Yeah.
She kind of carries the film. How do you think she did?
Yeah, I thought she did fine considering kind of the plain vanilla nature of her character. And she definitely holds the fort. There was a lot kind of asked of her, and I thought that I kind of, they definitely a nod to Mia Farrow, Rosemary's Baby, another supernatural movie about a pregnant woman dealing with crazy,
she
demonic
even kind of
stuff.
has a look.
Yeah, and so there was a kind of a nice nod to that. But she's fine. The guy playing her husband, Ward Horton, not only is this a plain vanilla character, his name is John, just to make him that much more kind of wooden, but he is just about the most vanilla person I could have imagined in this movie. And I feel bad knowing him, but it's just like, God, the character is just bland. Alfre Woodard, though, is in the movie, and she's a solid veteran actor, but the arc of her character and sort of what's at stake for her character kind of leads to two of my big problems with the movie.
Yeah, I mean, we have to watch out for spoilers, of course,
definitely.
and you and I have talked about this a lot, and
Yeah.
I have similar issues as you do. As a reviewer, do you think, can you sort of sketch out what those issues are
Yes.
and
Okay.
how much they hurt the film?
All right, so Alfre Woodard plays Evelyn, middle-aged or older African-American woman. It's 1971, so we're talking just a few years after MLK was assassinated, and there were, race riots in the streets of America, and it's, that's the era the movie keeps reminding you that you're in. And she has, evidently, based on her character's arc and what goes on later in the movie, nothing more to worry about in the world than this affluent young white couple and what's at stake for them. And it struck me as just being completely oblivious to the reality of that time. and it just left a very bad taste in my mouth. And again, I wish I could just spoil it and talk about my actual issues. Maybe after the movie comes out we can talk about it. But it led to not only the sort of the oblivious issue, being oblivious to the issue of race and really what would have been at stake for her character in that time, but also into the very ending of the movie, which I obviously can't talk about. But yeah, that's
Is the end the kind of capper for you? Is that the
yeah,
thing
that was like, it's all you're thinking about when you leave the movie. It's like, oh God, you could have done this better. Definitely.
So what are your final thoughts? Kind of scary, but problematic?
All right, so overall, I think it's a perfectly serviceable horror movie. It's got some nice creepy moments, but it's definitely marred when it goes into demonic movie tropes and CGI territory. And then again, the two issues we outlined definitely pull you out of the movie and leave a bad taste in your mouth. So if you're going to this movie expecting it to be as scary or as effective as The Conjuring, you might leave disappointed.
I don't think what you're experiencing is a ghost.
Sometimes demons can attach themselves to objects.
Who are you?